Hello, epic viewers from around the multiverse. Prepare to indulge in experiencing sheer bliss, because today another riveting Captain Stellar unboxing video is about to be brought to fruition. What item will I be unboxing? What item will I be opening? Without further delay, without further procrastination, allow me to elicit the box. What items are encompassed inside this bulky, hefty, tangible, nifty box? Let's find out. I'm going to demystify that answer to that inquiry right here, right now, so bear with me. It will only take me billions of picoseconds to extract the item from the box and subsequently flaunt it in front of the camera for you to feast your glorious eyes on. Here we go, the unboxing process is about to commence. The unboxing process is officially underway. What action figure have I extracted from the box? Which action figure have I prompted? Which action figure have I drawn forth? This action figure is known by the moniker of Sentry. Is he a paradigm of perfection? Is he the epitome of resound and perfection? Is he the embodiment of resound and perfection? Let's find out. You can assess this figurine's merits down to the nitty-gritty details to determine whether or not he warrants a hefty, exorbitant premium price. Do I relish this figurine? I do not know. That remains an enigma. I should say that remains enigmatic. Now, before we decimate the packaging, I just wanted to flaunt it real briefly in front of the camera. Now he's part of the Build-A-Figure Odin wave, and if you buy all the figurines within the wave, then you can assemble your own version of Thor's father. He comes bundled with two of Odin's appendages, so I'm sure that those have economic value. Perhaps they sell on eBay for mere dollars. So for $10 total, I should desist from complaining, but I have to be objective. I have to analyze whether or not this figurine has as much intrinsic value as a Toy Biz Marvel Legends figurine. Remember, the Toy Biz Marvel Legends figurines retailed for $8 plus tax. They came bundled with a comic book. They came bundled with an appendage for a 12-inch Build-A-Figure. They came bundled with extraordinary accessories. They possessed finger joint articulation. They had stupendous sculpts. They had high quality hues, high quality shadings, high quality deco. They were just extraordinary in every facet. Now, this figurine, on the other hand, he retailed for $20 plus tax. I managed to procure him via Amazon for $10 total. And I recollect buying him on Amazon through a private seller. Do I have any qualms about buying him? Let's find out. But we have to ascertain whether or not he has as much intrinsic value as the Toy Biz Marvel Legends figurine. So I need to be candid with the multiverse and the viewer base. So off the get-go, we have two appendages. Now you may say, oh wow, these are bonus items. No, they're not bonus items, because if you purchased a Toy Biz Marvel Legends action figure, you could expect to gain appendages for a 12 to 15 inch Build-A-Figure. So I guess these are okay. It's nice to always have replacement arms. It's nice to always have an abundance of items. However, these are not up to par with the arms of Galactus, or the arms of Giant Man, or the arms of Apocalypse, or the arms of even Annihilus. Why? They lack finger joint articulation. But we're not here to analyze the arms of Odin. Now I somehow have to maneuver his cape out of the plastic. I detest the way he was packaged. It's kind of a... well, actually it is a salient issue. It's a calamity within itself, because I'm going to have to maneuver the cape out of the packaging without scratching it. So, I don't remember Toy Biz doing this. Oh well, the cape is detachable. Here's a plastic shell that can be relegated to the trash. Now here we have the cape. There's two giant peg holes on the back. You can insert the peg that's protruding out of the cape into the peg hole, and once you maneuver it in, once you tuck it in, then he should be able to don his cape. But I'm having trouble doing that. No, never mind. So here he is in his glorious form. Now, I do love this figurine. Why do I say that? Well, he's relatively bulky and hefty. He doesn't seem to be flimsy. He doesn't seem to be feeble. He doesn't seem to be dainty nor petty. So he possesses physical prowess. His muscles, his biceps, his abtones, they just accentuate his physical prowess. His legs can be moved inwards and outwards. His arms can also be flexed upwards and downwards. I've never seen a downwards flex in real life, but apparently Sentry can flex his muscles downwards. He always has his muscles protruding out, but it's traditional to see him flexing them upwards rather than downwards. That would look a bit awkward to do a downwards flex, but I guess it can be undergone nonetheless. So his hair is comprised of rubber rather than a shoddy synthetic material that becomes dismantled over time. He can perform an ab crunch. He can lean forwards and backwards. He possesses an ankle pivot. He lacks a modicum of finger joint articulation. He has one fisted hand. Unfortunately, he lacks a second fisted hand. There's an aperture between his thumb and index finger, so that gaping hole is noticeable. However, from afar, it may be relatively arduous to notice, but is still nonetheless noticeable. His belt can actually be removed. I'm not going to try to remove it. It may not be reattachable if it is removed, so just be wary of that. His cape can be removed. Now, that may seem advantageous, but it has quite the polar opposite effect. Since the cape can be removed, it can also easily come off, so that within itself is a major issue and annoyance from my perspective. It should be permanently attached. Who wants to see Silver Sentry without the cape? He just doesn't look as epic. He seems to be relatively stoic. He has this audacious look. He seems as though he's ready to charge in the fray of battle. He seems as though he's poised for battle. He seems as though he's on the cusp of pummeling his adversaries and beating them to a bloody pulp. He seems as though he's imbued with rage. So his look is kind of intimidating. That's what his body language denotes and conveys. That's what I can at least interpret. What else? So, is it reprehensible that Hasbro didn't give him two-fisted hands or finger joint articulation? I mean, it can be looked past if you love this character. I think that he compensates for the lack of two-fisted hands by being bulky, by being hefty, and by having an epic facial expression that denotes that he's poised for battle. I would have preferred if his cape was permanent as opposed to removable. I would have preferred if he had finger joint articulation. But other than that, I mean, that's about it. It also would have been nice if he came bundled with a comic book. Now, I believe you can rotate his thighs and his shins, but I don't advise doing so. You don't want to compromise integrity of the joints. The biceps and forearms can unequivocally be rotated. They rotate in tandem with one another. They rotate simultaneously with one another. His wrists can also be rotated. There's no hinge in his wrist, so his hands can't really be flapped, but it's not a big deal. So if you can attach the cape and obscure the gaping hole in between his fingers, then he's nearly perfect. He's not up to par with the Toy Biz Marvel Legends figurine. However, he does have tremendous merit if you can obtain him for under $8. Now, I paid $10, so I'm not completely content. I'm not completely satisfied. So for the price I paid, objectively speaking, in comparison to Toy Biz Marvel Legends figurine, I'd rate him to be an 8 out of 10 as a $10 figurine. As a $20 figurine, I would rate him to be a 5 out of 10. So that's me being generous, but I need to be candid. I need to express my candor. And so here's Sentry. Buy him if you relish action figures, and if you want to add him to your prodigious action figure collection. He coincides eminently well with a 6-inch Marvel Legends action figure collection. He also stands He also stands practically toe-to-toe with a DC Universe Classics action figure. He actually seems to be slightly taller than the typical DC Universe Classics action figure. However, he's dwarfed by some DC Universe Classics action figures, so just be wary of that. He's closer to 6 inches tall, rather than being closer to 7 inches tall in height. So maybe he should have been an inch taller, and maybe he should have had finger joint articulation, and maybe his cape shouldn't have been a permanent attachment, and maybe he should have came bundled with a comic book. But those are just my hopes and my desires. But I should refrain from complaining. I hope that you deem this video to be intriguing and enthralling. Have a wonderful, marvelous day. Goodbye.